Do you ever just copy, like, the homework or the test answers from the wrong student in class? That's what Kbear did, so, let's talk about it. Alright, so the IMs we have at hand are by Kbear. These are the Kbear streamers. And whose homework did they copy off of? They copied off of the grand family known as Moondrop, but they copied off two people, so, or two models, you might say. So let's get into that in a little bit. So from the, inside the box, we get the usual stuff, you get the IMs with a cable and some ear tips and some paper. Alright, now let's just dig it into it. If you look at the IMs, don't they look kind of familiar? They're very nice with this really beautiful resin build with this pre-molded ergonomic shape to them. It's very much like the Moondrop Blessings 2, minus the nozzle, which is metal on this case, rather than, being all resin. So this is their choice. I don't really mind this personally, because it makes it easier to put grills on it, so there is that. However, the point still stands. It's very similar to the Moondrop Blessings 2, and, that's not a bad thing. This is really nice, though I do prefer Kbear's implementation of, like, the faceplate here, because it is, part of the resin, so you'll see this on, like, Moondrop's higher-end IMs. I think, like, the A8 does this, where it has it, as part of the resin body versus being a faceplate on top, which can technically fall off from, I guess, some damage and being bumped too hard. This has happened to some people in the community who have, like, Moondrop Blessings 2, as well as their variations. So with this implementation, I think it was smart, so good job, Kbear. Fit-wise, because they also kind of copied a similar design to Moondrop, I think they did a better job than the Blessings 2. These feel really comfortable in the ears, but probably only if you have, like, medium to largish kind of ears because of their sheer size. I mean, look at them. Mine's kind of medium-largish, and they fill up the whole auricle in this little spot right here. So I can imagine if you have smaller ears, you might have a little bit of trouble, but, your mileage is going to vary, of course, depending on your size and even shape of your ear. You never know. But for the most part, for me, I think these are really comfortable. But that part of the homework, that's the good part. That's like the name and the date and stuff like that. What they screwed up on was they copied the sound homework of the Moondrop Joker and mixed in their own answers as well, so that's not good. I mean, I guess some of the changed answers that they decided to put in themselves was good, like in the sound range. The bass on these guys is so good. It's really good. For $70 with this really deep low end, good rumble, pretty good thump down at that part with a good punch. The bass is just so good, but I don't know why, but they decided to copy the same scooped mids. I don't think they copied it, they probably made them at the same time, but point is, these things have scooped out mids in the mid-range, mid-mids, just like on the Jokers. I'm not saying that they copied off each other or anything, but they both did that, and that's bad in of itself, because it leaves the sound feeling kind of empty and hollow, and anytime any sounds from, like, the mid-mids play, so that's kind of unfortunate, because the bass on these guys is so good. I don't know why they did that. And as you go into the upper mids, it gets a little bit better. It's not the cleanest upper mids I've ever heard. It could be better, and if we go into the highs, it's okay. We get a decent amount of clarity. It's not the cleanest I've heard, and it does roll off a little bit, so it doesn't go off like too high up there, but still manages to get harsh somehow. So yeah, strange tuning decisions here. At least the bass is good, but everything else is not so great. So, on that same train, the soundstage is smaller than average for an IEM. It's not the greatest I've ever heard, and the sound separation is just not the greatest either. It's okay, I guess, but it's kind of tight. And when we get to, like, the precision, the imaging, it's average at best. So, not looking good here, and this also then plays into its gaming abilities. Like, overall, no matter what game I play, it left something to be desired. Also, it sounded pretty awful. For example, in, like, competitive shooters, I wish there was more mids, because the mids are scooped out, meaning there's almost no mids. There's so little of it. I wish there was more of that, and better sound separation with a slightly larger stage to work with, so that I can track people easier in the game. Hearing footsteps wasn't the greatest thing. If it was in high range, sure, but if it was in the mid-mids, not so great. So not the best tracking, not great for competitive shooters. And if I'm playing non-competitive games, more open world stuff, yes, the bass is great. It sounds amazing. But when we have any sounds that occur in the mid-mids, due to that great scoop, it feels kind of empty and hollow. It's very, disappointing is one of the words I could use, but there's another word for this. I'm trying to figure it out. Underwhelming. It's a very underwhelming sound when we get to those parts. Yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired, so I don't know what Kbear was thinking when they designed these. physically, they're very nice. They feel great, but they just don't sound great. I don't know what happened. For $70 and what they sound like, I can't really recommend them, especially considering that there are better things out there for even like almost half the price, made by the same company. Kbear recently, I recently reviewed their KB01s. Those sound really good, and those are $40. I would greatly recommend those over these any day. I couldn't even recommend these, for music. I don't recommend them really much for gaming in any type or music at this price, or at all. I don't know what happened here. These aren't great. They're confusing. It's kind of bad. Feels bad to say it, but it's kind of bad. So yeah, I'd skip on these and go for Kbear's other choices. So man, I thought Kbear was in a good direction after I tried the KB01s, but I guess you win some, you lose some. So maybe next time, guys. Maybe next time, Kbear. Keep the design, change the sound, because I do like the style design. Maybe make it a little smaller. I don't know. So yeah, see you guys next time.